Welcome to Eat Your Greens with Dr. Black, the podcast where I break down nutrition and everyday habits into simple, doable steps for better health. If you're a first-time listener, I'm so glad that you found this show. I'm Dr. Black. I'm a board-certified pediatrician and lifestyle medicine physician. Now, I have a question. Tell me if this describes you. You decided that you need to lose some weight for whatever reason, and you tried going on a diet. Could have been any diet. I'm not singling anyone out. There are literally millions of them out there. You were very motivated. You stuck with it. You did all the things they recommended, and it worked. You lost weight. But then after a while, for whatever reason, maybe it was because that vacation or your wedding day or the 20-year high school reunion came and went, or because, let's face it, sticking to a weight loss diet is hard, all that weight that you lost came right back, maybe even more, in a fraction of the time that it took you to lose it. If you've had that experience, you're not alone. It happens to most people who go on weight loss diets. Here's the thing. It's not because you're a failure. It's not because you're weak or you lack willpower. It's because your body is really good at protecting you. That's right, I said protecting you, even though often it feels like it's sabotaging us. My returning listeners may already know this, but I generally avoid talking about weight loss for a reason. This is a health and nutrition podcast. It's not a show about weight loss specifically. At work, I focus on metabolic health. If my patient doesn't want to talk about their weight, or if weight loss is not a goal for them, I respect their choice. I truly believe that we should all love our bodies, regardless of what shape it is. Part of loving it, of course, means taking care of it, feeding it nourishing food, moving it often, and giving it the right amount of rest. You will never hear me talk about an optimal or ideal weight because that number is different for everyone. A healthy weight is one that's sustainable. It allows us to feel good, have more energy, live without pain, and it doesn't contribute to cardiometabolic disease. When you get right down to it, a healthy weight is not your pant size or the number on the scale. I mean, that's a part of it, but it's really the numbers on your lab report, the relative percentages of fat to lean body mass, and how that fat is distributed. And it's the number of reported symptoms you have. All of that combined together makes up a healthy weight, and it's going to be different from one person to the next. But the truth is, our culture and our environment don't always support a healthy lifestyle, and many of us find ourselves at a weight that we simply don't want to be at. Today, I'm going to talk about why quick fix diets, fad diets, or any other restrictive eating pattern geared towards rapid weight loss all backfire and actually lead to weight gain. I'll tell you why that is, how they actually change your metabolism, your hormones, and even alter how hungry and full you feel. I'm going to help you understand why it's not your fault. I'm also going to let you in on some things that you can do to not only attain, but also maintain a healthy weight, whatever that means for you personally. Now, I do like to start with my definitions, so let's make sure we're all at the same starting line. Usually when I use the word diet, I'm referring to your overall eating pattern, but for this episode, I'm specifically talking about weight loss diets. I'm not singling any of them out. We're talking about any short-term restrictive diet designed to cause rapid weight loss. About half of the U.S. population has tried one or more at some point in our life. I'm also going to talk a lot about metabolism, and that word can mean a lot of things, from how you metabolize your medications to how your body digests food and how fast you burn calories. In the context of this episode, when I say metabolism, I'm talking about your body's overall energy system, how many calories your body burns just to keep you alive and functioning even when you're at rest. It's the energy burned from breathing, your heart pumping your blood around, keeping your cells in your brain running. All of that together is called your basal metabolic rate. And it's affected by several things. The biggest factor is body composition. Muscle burns more energy than fat, so the more lean mass you have, the higher your metabolism. Your body size also matters. Larger bodies naturally burn more calories because there's more tissue to maintain. Other factors that affect metabolism include your age, your sex, genetics, and hormones and certain health conditions. Things like thyroid disease, stress hormones like cortisol, and whether you're pre or postmenopausal. Finally, even your environment can make a small difference. It turns out your body works a bit harder in either extreme cold or heat. Unfortunately, we can't control all of these things, but we can protect or even boost our metabolism over time by preserving our muscle, managing stress, and taking care of our hormonal health. Now that we are all on the same page, let's start with what happens in your body the moment you start one of those rapid weight loss diets. As soon as you cut way back on calories and start to lose weight, your body goes into starvation mode and it slows your metabolism down to conserve energy. That's how humans survived for millennia with an unstable food supply, right up until the last century or so. But when we lose lots of weight fast, our metabolism slows down even more than expected. Scientists call this metabolic adaptation. Now, do you remember that Biggest Loser show from back in the 2010s? Personally, I'm grateful that I never watched it. Apparently, it was a terrible show and maybe never should have aired in the first place. But some scientists were able to enroll participants from one of the seasons into a study, and they collected some pretty interesting data about what happens when people lose lots of weight over a relatively short period. They recruited 14 contestants and followed them over 6 years. During the competition, the participants lost an average of almost 130 pounds each. Now, you probably won't be surprised to learn that most of them regained a lot of that weight back by the 6-year follow-up mark. But what's really fascinating is that the researchers found that their metabolic rates slowed much more than would be explained solely by their smaller body size. Remember, I said bigger bodies actually have higher metabolic rates than smaller ones. Immediately after the competition, the contestants' average resting metabolic rate dropped by about 600 calories per day below what would be predicted for their new body size. This slowdown helped explain why maintaining that lost weight was so hard. But what about 6 years later? Even though most had regained much of that lost weight, their metabolisms did not recover. The average resting metabolic rate was still about 500 calories per day lower than predicted. Think about that. 500 calories is not just a light snack worth of calories. That's an entire meal's worth. Their metabolism stayed suppressed almost as if the body still believed it was starving even after the contestants had regained much of their weight. In the 6-year follow-up, the few participants who successfully kept most of their weight off were the ones who kept up very high levels of physical activity. And that leads me to another thing that happens with rapid weight loss. Quick weight loss often means losing muscle along with fat. Muscle is your body's true metabolic engine. Even at rest, it burns more energy than fat and helps regulate your glucose, your insulin, and just how well your body processes food. That's why maintaining muscle mass is a key marker for longevity and healthy aging. People with more muscle have lower risks of some of those chronic diseases like diabetes. On average, after about the age of 30, we lose 1 to 2% of our muscle mass each year. After age 60, that speeds up to closer to 3% of muscle lost every year. Menopause also speeds this process up. I mean, personally, I feel like my metabolism has come to a screeching halt. I feel like I have the metabolism of a sloth. Does anybody else feel that way? Surely I'm not the only one. So, when a rapid weight loss diet causes you to lose muscle, you're losing more than just strength. You're slowing your metabolic engine, making it harder to burn calories, harder to maintain that weight loss, and even harder to age well. What else happens when we lose weight? Let's talk about some hormones that you may have never heard of: ghrelin and leptin. These are two key hormones that control how hungry or full we feel. Ghrelin is made by the stomach when it's empty. It's what tells your brain, hey, it's time to eat. I think of it as the gremlin that makes my stomach growl and demands to be fed. Now, here's a weird little aside. Do you want to know what my favorite obscure medical word is? Borborygmus. That's the medical term for stomach growling. I don't actually know any doctors who use it. I've never used it myself professionally, but there you go. Borborygmus means the noise your stomach makes when you're hungry. It's those ghrelin gremlins acting up and signaling that you're hungry. Now, leptin, on the other hand, is made by fat cells, and it does the opposite. Fat is a source of long-term energy storage, and it's not just sitting there under your skin making you squishy. It's metabolically and hormonally active. And when you have plenty of energy stores, the adipose, aka fat, releases leptin, which signals the brain to turn down hunger. When you lose weight and your fat stores shrink, those leptin levels drop, driving you to eat more to fill those stores back up. So when you go on a calorie-restrictive diet and you're eating a lot less, your ghrelin levels go up and your leptin levels go down. The result? You feel hungrier before eating and less satisfied after meals. Thoughts about eating have also been shown to increase. Your mind and your body are basically saying, let's get that weight back. Leptin and ghrelin get most of the hormone spotlight when it comes to appetite, but they're really just part of an entire complex hormonal orchestra. Other hormones like insulin and peptide YY also drop when we lose fat, dialing down satiety signals even further. Together, these changes make your brain and your body act as if you haven't eaten in days, long after your diet actually ended. So that's the setup. Your body's metabolism is dialed down, your hunger is cranked up. I hope you now have a better understanding of what's really happening in your body and that you can see that it's not your fault. Failure to keep weight off is not because you're weak or lack willpower. Your body is literally driving you to eat more to regain the weight, and very few people can ignore those biological signals. Let's also add in the impact these diets have on our quality of life. They're often expensive and they're so restrictive that it's no wonder they're hard to stick to. And another thing, that whole system is what traps people into the cycle of yo-yo dieting. We think that diet didn't work, but maybe this new one will if I just try harder, and the cycle starts all over again. Each round actually gets harder because your metabolism adapts faster each time. And this isn't just an annoying, frustrating process. It's linked with higher risks for heart disease, diabetes, and blood pressure. In fact, some studies show that cycle of gaining and losing and gaining weight back again may raise your heart failure risk by more than 50%. There's also the emotional toll. We feel guilty, frustrated, we feel like we're a failure, and some people may even develop an unhealthy relationship with their food, with their body, and their overall self-image. Often this can lead to an eating disorder. Did you know that anorexia nervosa has the highest mortality rate of any eating disorder? But listen, your body isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it's evolutionarily built to do: protect your energy stores for times when food gets scarce. So if diets don't work long term, what does? Let's talk about a few things you can do to not only attain, but also maintain a healthy weight, whatever that means for you personally. The goal is to work with your biology, not fight it. So here's 3 things you can do to feel full longer. First off, build your meals around protein and fiber. These are the 2 nutrients that keep hunger hormones steady and slow digestion. Your gut and your brain both are sort of constantly scanning for nutrient signals after you eat. Getting sufficient protein triggers the L cells in your gut to release GLP-1. That's the very hormone that these newer weight loss medications are designed to mimic. Of course, I'm going to recommend for overall health that you choose plant proteins like tofu or tempeh, but if you go with an animal source, stick with a lean option or fish. My regular listeners can already recite a very long list of benefits to eating a higher fiber diet. For one thing, it takes longer to digest, and of course, it also feeds the healthy gut bacteria. Those bacteria release short-chain fatty acids, which in turn stimulate those satiety hormones, GLP-1 and PYY. So taken together, getting adequate protein in your diet and plenty of fiber-rich foods work through a number of different mechanisms in your body to help keep you feeling full longer and reduce cravings and generally just boost your health. Number 2, choose slow carbs over quick burning ones. Highly processed foods generally contain fast burning carbs. Think white bread, pastries, sugary snacks, soda, all of those. These foods spike blood sugar and then crash it, which makes you feel hungrier sooner. Processed foods are designed to prevent those fullness cues so you eat more. They're also engineered to hit that so-called bliss point of maximum dopamine release to keep you craving more, reaching more, and buying more. Whole foods, on the other hand, digest more slowly, and they give you longer-lasting energy. Processing also generally adds in a lot of extra sugar and unhealthy fat. A good rule of thumb, the less processed it is, the longer it will keep you full. And number 3, add in some healthy sources of fat. Did I just tell you to eat more fat? Yes, I did, but just don't overdo it and stick to those healthier, unsaturated types of fat. Fat slows gastric emptying, and that keeps ghrelin lower after eating. It can also help to blunt the blood sugar spike associated with higher carb meals. Emphasize mono and poly unsaturated fats from foods like avocados, nuts, seeds, tahini, and peanut butter. One of my favorite tricks is to blend a handful of walnuts into my smoothie to add more omega-3 fatty acids. This helps keep me from feeling hungry again a couple hours later, and it's also great for brain health. So to wrap it all up, if weight loss is your goal, focus on sustainability, not speed. Aim for small, steady changes that feel doable. Build meals that you actually enjoy and can repeat. This isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Ask yourself, could I see myself eating this a year from now? If the answer is yes, you're on the right track. I also invite you to redefine success. Look beyond the scale. Be mindful of how your body feels, your energy level, your mood, how strong you feel, how well are you sleeping, and then also look at your lab results. Health happens in how you live, not just in what you weigh. Your body isn't the enemy, it's trying to protect you. Rapid weight loss diets trigger every safety mechanism designed to help you survive. That's why the weight comes back, and sometimes more. So give yourself some grace. Build habits, not punishment. If you found this episode valuable, if you learned something, or if you know somebody who you think would benefit from it, please share it. That really helps me grow and reach a bigger audience. You can also, of course, go to the website, eatgreenswithdrblack.com, and click the subscribe button. Send me your email. I do not send spam. You'll get an email every time I release a new episode and maybe the occasional newsletter. As always, thanks for listening. And don't forget to eat your greens. Please be aware that this podcast provides general health information about nutrition and feeding of infants and children and is meant for educational purposes only. It's not intended to replace the important relationship between a parent, child, and pediatrician. If you have concerns about your child's nutrition, health, or growth, please consult your doctor.